advise, especially to the president, if he actually wants to fight corruption, which I believe he wants to fight, the biggest and the best gift he can give to Nigeria that will make his name remain indelible in the history of Nigeria, and if he actually willing to fight corruption to the barest minimum, is to change the political system to restructure Nigeria along the line of the practice of presidential system to that of parliamentary system. We had the opportunity of going through the two types, and in my opinion, I think we have lost all we gained during the time we practiced parliamentary system to what we have lost during the presidential system. Number one, the presidential system has concentrated too much power in the hands of individuals. And like we know, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Number two, those of us practicing politics in Nigeria are not matured enough to practice the presidential system as it being practiced from where we copied it, that is the United States of America. For instance, in America, it is the units, federating units, that contribute money to the center. Therefore, the power remains with the federating units. In Nigeria, it's the reverse. And we can see that in Nigeria, this presidential system was engineered by the military. And they knew they are used to command system. And it's only in the presidential system that you can continue to operate command system. But we have all seen that it has been a big failure. For instance, a lot of people are talking of restructuring Nigeria, giving more powers to the states or to the federal units, to the states and the local governments. In my own opinion, to do that is to worsen our present situation, because we will have succeeded in giving more powers, resources in the control of the governors and the local governments. And I don't know of any governor of any local government that can adequately account for money being given to them creditably today. We had all sorts of rumors of looters, thieves, and all sorts of things. So, if you now restructure in a way that you give more resources to their control, where do we go? How do we explain a situation in a place like Ogun State that during the last 4 years, all the monies coming to Ogun State have been spent in only 2.5 local governments? Our rural roads are dead. Our education are anemic. Nothing is working except for few elites living in Abeokuta and probably in Ijebu. They're using the bridges and the good roads, if we call them good roads anyway. What is the fate of the other 18 local governments that have been neglected? But this is possible because the power is concentrated in the hands of the governor. And today, the legislative arm of government in Ogun State and like in most states of federation are dead because they are ordinary appeals of the governors. But if we practice parliamentary system, it's going to be premier or prime minister, which is going to be first among equals. So it's not possible for anybody to just wake up and spend the state's money anywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, you know that today you cannot compare what is happening at the federal level with what is happening at the state level. At the federal level, there are some sort of control. The legislative arm of government there are very active and they are doing their job, whatever anybody is talking about. And the president and the presidency are listening to them because they have no choice. But at state level, there's nothing similar to that at all. Therefore, if President Buhari wants to be remembered for this country, he should please put into process today of returning Nigerian democracy to parliamentary system from presidential system. It should be the last president. That's the only thing he can do. His fight against corruption will not succeed at all if you continue to operate the presidential system, especially at the state level. It won't succeed. Nothing is happening. Nothing is working. The local government structures are dead. And this is the government closest to the grassroots. And that's why you see everybody crying of poverty in Ogun State. We have no business with poverty because our monthly allocation, IGR, is about 10 billion as of today. And yet, the small and medium scale traders and industries are dead because the people to patronize them are the people at the grassroots level, at the local government level. So as far as I'm concerned, I think our democracy is about to die. It's about to die. Because we have problems everywhere. Where you don't have a Boko Haram, have herdsmen. When you have herdsmen, have kidnappers. Where you have kidnappers, you find that the farmers cannot even go to their farms. For instance, I have personal experience. I have a 100-acre land somewhere in near the border of Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. I've planted a lot of things there, but these things are being eaten up by the herdsmen and their herds. And when they finish eating my property, they run back to the Republic of Benin. You cannot even do anything about it. In Safara, we know what is happening. In Katsina, we know what is happening. So, even in Ogun State, where we think we are safe, we are already getting to a point where you cannot even go to the farm without going with guards, armed guards. So the system, to answer your question, is about to collapse. We have already become a banana republic. So we are now going to the stage of collapse. So our democracy has to be revived, has to be changed by this president. The first president between 1999 and 2007 had that opportunity, he didn't seize it. Now I want to appeal to President Buhari to do it for us before he leaves. Otherwise, it might be too late. No, there's nothing happening now that has not happened in the past. And I hate criticizing our former leaders. Because number one, I believe in the Quran and the Bible. Number two, there's nobody that be asked to play any position in a football team that will not make a mistake. And in most cases, only the watchers, the spectators, see most of the mistakes. I believe it's unfair to just criticize people without telling them what they should do. That's the difference between our leaders of today and late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Chief Obafemi Awolowo will criticize government of what they are doing, and he will profile what he thinks is the solution. Who is trying to polarize Nigeria? I don't think this government or Buhari should be accused because we have a cabinet of 36 ministers. The Federal Executive Council take their decisions. And we have not heard of any minister that has resigned because he did not agree with what they have done. We have not even heard of any minister, even from Ogun State, that has criticized the decisions of the Federal Security Council at any point in time. So why should we accuse a person for decision taken by a group of people collectively? So as far as I'm concerned, this president is doing his best. It's just that his best is not good enough for Nigeria. But we have people before him. If we look at what they have done, we'll be able to point out their own mistakes too. But as I said, if the structure is not corrected, a lot of people are likely to make more mistakes. A lot of people are likely to take advantage. And people taking the advantages are not only the president or the politicians. Our policemen are not only from one particular tribe today, but people know what we are suffering from their hands. Our soldiers are not from one particular tribe, and yet the same military that was able to crush rebellion in 1969 cannot crush insurgency for the last 10 years. Is it because they come from a particular area? So my attitude towards this accusing somebody of polarizing or not, my attitude is that I do not agree. We have problems, and our problem is general. And unless we join together to solve the problem, we shall go nowhere. Lotta himself is a member of the EGBALAND National Council. Whereas Adodota local government is in the Ogun State West Central District. And the paramount ruler, the number one paramount ruler there is Olofilaro. Why is it that he doesn't go there? You see, that's one of the wrong things, anomalies the politicians and the military have brought into the system. We had a united EGBALAND government from 1890 to 1914. And the then Alaki of EGBALAND was the president of that republic. The Olota of Ota was not even a minister in that cabinet. And that republic extended to Badagry, including all the areas of Ogun West Central District. But when the military came, and that territory extended to Alakara in Lagos State. And those of you who know a little about history, we know that that place was Western Region, Abeokuta Province, up to 1967, when they created Lagos State. Before then, what we had was Lagos Colony, up to Yaba. Yebu Province was up to Jibu, and Abeokuta Province was up to Alakara under the bridge. But a lot of things have happened in the hands of these politicians and both military and civilian politicians that have caused a lot of problems, that they gave a lot of things that did not belong to people to them. For instance, how can you imagine somebody sitting down and installing 75 obas in a day? It's madness of the highest order. There's no way in the constitution of this country that a governor can appoint obas. It's only the paramount rulers. But they are doing it. People are afraid of what they get from them, and they won't talk until another government comes and decides to rush and complain to the new government and go to the courts. So what is happening there is the creation of the politicians. But the truth is that the territorial land of Adodota up to Wode, Egbado, belongs to the Egbas. And even the Oba in Naton and those areas are installed from this place. Even the Bales here are from Abeokuta here. for the record purposes. When the Egbas conquered the Aworis during the, in the first part of 20th century, they allowed the then Oba there to remain and report to them in Abeokuta instead of installing an Egba person there like people do in the north. Because the Egbas are always beloved in equality. But for any Awori person now to be taking advantage of that goodness of the Egbas is unfair. After all, no more superiority now. Who is an Oba today? We don't have Obas. An Oba that's only responsible to the local government chairman. Are those Obas? But why do we want to cause confusion where there's no confusion? What is the importance of these Obas? What can they do? All they can do is to sell other people's land. Why do we fight over such things? And our people in our land know that there's nothing that makes them less of an Ogun State person than an Egba person today. There's nothing they can do for them. We are all equal before the law. And despite the fact that we have majority of the population of that place, they have always been the chairman of that council. They have always been the senator. They have been the deputy governor when they want to take a deputy governor for the whole of West. The population of Awori is less than 10% of the population of people in the West. The West Central zone of this. And they have always been given good treatment. Why the force? So as far as I'm concerned, that issue is a non-issue. But to answer your question, yes, traditionally, yes. But where is that tradition today? Everything has been hijacked by the... What are these Obas developing? There's an Oba in my local government, they call it the Oluga of Luga. The population of that place is less than 100. And then you have an Oba there. And we are talking of development. What we agreed in EGBALAND was that wherever we have a town or a village developing, and we believe a Baale cannot effectively control them, then we recommend to the Alake, who is the paramount, to give us, to promote the Baale. But the question you should ask me is this: how many of these 75 people were Baale before they were promoted, before they were installed? Tell me, how many of them were Baales? It has negated the idea of development. We want to bring people to the villages to develop the place. But on the contrary, they are encouraging people to leave the villages now. Because these Obas live in the town. And all they do is to sell the lands in the villages to people who want to farm. The Indians, the Chinese, the rich people from Igbo land, from Ofa and Co. That is the idea. It's the idea of how the thing is taking place. If you are doing it for development, yes. But what are you developing in a village of 100 people? Tell me. In the north, where they do it successfully, they call it Emirates. In my own local government, in my ward, Odeda, we now have more than 10 Obas in one ward. 10 Obas to a councillor. And you are telling me this man is doing things. I mean, and let me remind you, as a matter of fact, there are many of these Obas who are installed the last minute that have been recommended by Iraqi 2 years ago. He refused to acknowledge it. But because he lost the election, for this is best known to him, he wants to approve those ones, and the ones he saw his dreams, and the ones he believes have helped him in his administration, to make them Obas, including his own blood brother in their village. I mean, this is the idea we are talking about. I don't give advice to people who don't ask for my advice. So Dapo has not asked for any advice from me. So I will not give him any advice. But if he doing things wrongly, I will criticize him openly and tell him, like I did for Daniel and like I did for this one. Because we work for democracy in this country. We built bridges. I was one of the very few people who fought that the president should come to the Southwest in 1999. It was not a coincidence that the presidential candidate of the two big parties, in fact the three parties, because we later on combined the presidential candidates of AD and APP in one party. The two of them were from the Southwest. It was negotiated. But what are they doing today? Most of these people doing this nonsense were not very, they were miles away from those of us who were negotiating it then, including the president. He was not part of the deal. So, which advice do you want him to go and give them at 78? And all of you, do you now listen to advice given to you, even by your parents? Are you not wiser? All of you? So why are we talking of politicians? You're the generation. Do you listen to advices? Don't answer me. You are here. When they say don't go and marry from that area because of so, daddy, this is a no. Mommy, I know, I love him. What do you know about love? When you run into a problem now, you come back and say, yeah. So, you see, this thing is a phenomenon. It's a problem in the society. It's not limited to these people. They are your friends, they are your cousins, they are brothers, they are your classmates. Why you don't go and advise them? You ask me to go and advise them.